Okay, welcome back. So we're going to get into the markup and pricing grid area. So we'll select markup grids. As you can see, I have multiple markup grids, and the reason behind that is I want you to have an option to create a different markup based on the product. In this industry, we can mark up our t-shirts quite a bit more than we can mark up an expensive polo or a high dollar jacket or something like that. So our markups are going to range, and I want you to stipulate how yours will range in your shop. So just for references, now I just threw these numbers in here. I don't know if they'll work for anybody. It's just random. It's for training purposes. So what I'm saying on my white t-shirts is for 12, we'll just skip to 12. I'm going to mark that up 118%. If your customer, or my customer, for instance, goes to 24, then my markup for that white t-shirt goes to 103. So for training purposes, if you look at the 12 quantity, it's marked up 118% from 12 to 23. At 24 pieces, a new markup takes over at 103%. So on dark garments, it changes. Here is long sleeve and pocket white shirts, etc. So you can have as many markups as you want. You can have one called jackets. It doesn't matter. Just so you get your pricing exactly the way you want it to be. So we'll move forward to our screen printing pricing grids, and we'll select first print location. The pricing that you're looking at here, I don't know, I might have got it offline or something, but keep in mind this is just for training purposes. But regardless, as you can see, I have a cost feature in here. The cost feature is important because TeeCal is going to want to calculate you a profit margin. It knows how to calculate your profit margin on your products because you've stipulated a % markup. Here it does not. So you have to do your overhead. You have to figure out what it costs you to do a particular job. And when you do come up with that, you can put your cost feature in here. Nothing says you have to do this. If you don't want your profit margin, you can just leave it at 0, or you could put the same price. It doesn't matter. But then again, as far as the pricing grids go, it stipulates quantity and color. And it's basically just a grid. So at 12 pieces, one color is this price. You go to 24, one color is this price, etc., all the way down through the colors. I have multiple grids in here to show you that if you do contract printing, you can have that in there. If you charge it a lesser price for a second location, I put that in there to show you can have that too. So sky's the limit. You set this up the way your shop runs. That's the whole point of this. Embroidery grids, same concept, except this is a little different because now we have it in stitch count. We took a big poll to decide how to set this up, and the vast majority of the people that are in embroidery said we charge by stitch count, whether it be for digitizing or sewing. So that's how we set this grid up. Here's your quantities, here's your stitch count. You can separate the stitch count any way you want. You can start at 1,000. You can go in increments of 1,000. You can go in increments of 500. It doesn't matter. It's completely up to you. Because when you develop an invoice or create an invoice, you're going to select a stitch count of this item that you're sewing, and TeeCal will price it appropriately by the grid that you've set up. Direct to garment. If you do direct to garment, this is the area that you're going to put your pricing. We pretty much set this up to be as flexible as possible. If you charge a left chest, say a 4x4, for one item is $10, you can do it like that. You can put 4x4, $10. Then you can go 8x8. These are in inches. You can go 6x6. It doesn't matter. However many rows you want on size, you can do that. TeeCal will also price in square inches. So if you don't want to put 4x4, you want to put a 16, because as far as, well, square inches, you can do that too. It doesn't matter. As long as, however your shop prices, and you understand the grid you built, That's all that matters, and TeeCal will price it just like you have. Now, if you do signs, you could use this for signs. You can call this banners, and you can say one banner. And if you want to charge in linear feet, you can set it up linear feet, square feet, or 4 foot by 4 foot. It doesn't matter. You can set this up any way you want. Again, you have your option for the cost feature right here. You can, if you know your cost, by all means, put it in. All right, we're going to get to our production side of it. We'll start with product colors, and product colors is exactly that. When I say products, that's our t-shirts, that's our polos, that's our jackets. So I'm going to put a lot in here on your default. So if there's something I forgot, you can add it here, or you can add it on the fly when you're creating invoice. If you don't see the color you want, click add color, you're done, and it'll be there. It'll save it on the back end side. Product types, we've put a bunch of product types in here for you. If you don't like my product types, no problem. You can import your own. Very simple. Just make sure you're using a JPEG, a GIF, or a bitmap when you are importing your different items. You can delete them. You can edit it. You can add it. Anything you want. We let you have full control of this area also. Production locations. So if I left one out, add it. Front, back, left sleeve, right sleeve, left leg, anything you want. Just put it in there because this is for our production sheets. And it's important that we have the exact information, so when we put together a production sheet, we can stipulate exactly where this goes on the item. Embroidery machines. Now, this is for your scheduling. I need to know some information so this system can calculate. So it's very simple. It asks you, on the slower side of your embroidery, how many stitches per minute can you do? Normal and faster. How many sewing heads do you have? You put this information, TeeCal will calculate the time it's going to take to sew based on your stitch count. Let's see here. Thread manufacturers and codes. We do give you some defaults in here, but you want to keep track of this. I don't want you to go to your cabinet, open it up, and start trying to input all these at one time. I would say as production is necessary for the items, you can add them on a fly. Within a month or so, you're going to have the majority of your colors in there, and you're not even going to know you did anything. So don't shut the shop down and go put all this information. You don't need to do that. Thread colors. I put a bunch in there. Whatever's not there, you can add them, or you can add them on the fly. When I say on the fly, when you're creating an invoice or you're creating a production sheet and you don't see the color you want, you're going to have an option to add a color. Screen printing machines. Same thing applies here as your embroidery machines. I need to know, or the system needs to know rather, how long does it take to set up. Now, setup time, I want you to incorporate also tear down, because the job's not done until we get the press cleared out. So I need to know start or setup and tear down time combined. If you're when and if you flash, what's your normal flash time in seconds? And then down here, it's asking this. For instance, this would be a 12 color, and I just put in there some numbers of how long it would take to do this job. How many pieces can I do per hour? So if it's a one color on my auto, there's no doubt we can do 225 an hour easily. So I just threw 225 in there. Now TeeCal will be able to accommodate me when I ask for scheduling, for auto scheduling. It'll know how long it should take with these numbers. It'll take this and put this into actual time and tell you how long it'll take. Even if you have a manual machine, I suggest you put that information in here because we need to schedule for every machine. Every machine needs to be running at all times so that we can be profitable. Ink manufacturers and colors. Again, this is for your production information. Again, I don't want you to run back and write down all these colors we have. Let's go ahead and just add them as we do our production sheets. But we have added quite a few. If you're a union, if you use union, I have a bunch of Wilflex in here. Pantone matching systems. If you are doing color matching in your shop and you want to keep track of what you have, definitely add this in here as the jobs come in and you mix them. So if you get a repeat customer, you'll know exactly what you've mixed in the past. Ink types. Again, this is for your production information. ultra soft. I mean, I put most of it in here. If there's something that I'm missing, then by all means you can add to that. Direct-to-garment machines. This is just like your screen printing machines and your embroidery machines. I need to have a time frame. I've set this up on size, so this is seconds per square inch. So it's very simple for you to get that. Print an exact square inch, time it how long it takes. Then you can set this up to for your scheduling very easily. Give yourself maybe a few more seconds to actually put the shirt on the plat and get it set up, and this will do all the work for you as far as scheduling and time frames go. Heat press, same situation. Need to know times, how long it takes you to do, how many. Again, this is for scheduling purposes. If you have more than one machine, please add it, and this way we can schedule for the heat press too. User accounts and email settings. Everybody needs a user account. So if you have a particular salesperson, then we need to set him up a user account so he can log into the system. You will be the administrator as the owners, and you will specify what each salesperson or employee is allowed to see within the system. If you go to security restrictions, this is the area that you can stipulate what each employee is allowed to see. So if you don't want them to see your financial reports, I suggest that you uncheck this. If you don't, it's up to you. If you don't want them to go to the control panel, uncheck it. Don't make it an administrator by all means. Make them a sales rep, and then stipulate what they're allowed to see. It's very simple. You just add a new user, put their name, information, show what they can see. You can get them to put their password in. As an administrator, you can bypass that password at any time. It doesn't matter. You can even change it if they come in and they forgot their password. You don't even need to know their old one. If you're an administrator, you can reset that very easily. If this employee has been with you for years and all of a sudden they leave you, don't run in here and delete them, because their name will be associated with things that are still in your shop. Let everything progress through, then come back later and delete them. The only thing where this would be, I'm not going to say an issue, but a problem is if you wanted to change that and you have deleted them, TeeCal doesn't see that person is there anymore. That's the reason for let everything flow through, then you can come back and you can delete them. So as you can see, this is your email settings. You'll have to get this information, whoever your email provider is. This is very similar to setting up your Outlook, because it's going to ask you for your SMTP server. Is it a secured connection? Username, password. You can blind CC yourself on any employee you have. You can blind CC everything, and your email signature will go here. Then it'll give you an option to test it when you're setting up each individual. If you have them listed as a sales rep, in the sales rep area, which is right here, you can select them as to link to this particular person. Very easy. Get everybody set up so when they come in the morning, they can go ahead and they can log in and they can start to work. So that's pretty much the control panel. I appreciate everybody hanging around. I know it was kind of lengthy, but it should make it that much easier to get this set up so you can get started very quickly. Thank you.